All right, get in here, people. We have got some amazing freedom to disperse across this entire fruited plain, and I look forward to doing this with you guys every single night, particularly tonight, because the show we've got for you is going to be a banger. You are going to want to see this entire thing, particularly the front half of the Tabs of Freedom. You're going to love every second of it. I'm like Men's Warehouse. I almost guarantee it. All right, guys, as you get in here, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell on. We are pretty much cutting through propaganda and showing how we're going to save this country together, and the things that no one's going to tell you that kind of paint a little bit different of a narrative than what you're getting force-fed through a funnel from the media. That's what we're all about, and if you're down with the mission, we'd love to have you join us. It's free, it's amazing, and I'll be honest with you, it's not going to like itself, so let's make this happen. All right, guys, let's get in here. As you get in here, make sure audio, video is good, 5x5. I'm going to do the comments, the chats, the emojis, because they make the world go round, and then we are going to have an absolute blast with this one, particularly on the front one. And if you guys are just now getting in here, particularly the young ladies in the audience, let me hear you, because you're going to make an appearance in the first few little segments of this tab. So as we get into this, let me put this comment chat emoji over here, and we will be off to the races. Chats, comments, emojis make the world go round. All right, it is tabbed. It is in there. Once we pin it, we are off to the races. You guys know how this works. And don't forget your sworn duty. You guys are deputized in the chat every once in a while, and it's been happening a lot recently with our incredible growth, which, thank you, by the way. Couldn't do it without you guys. Lefties wander into the chat, and they start to throw things out there which are meant to lead you astray. But don't worry, you guys are on it. I'll be the camera guy. I'll be the guy in the front of the camera doing the production. I'll be doing all this stuff, and you handle the chat, and we will get through this just fine. It's a team effort. Let's get right into this, people. All right. So normally, I'm going to do an appetizer to get this ball rolling, to start the meal, to lay the table. But in this case, it's a short little one. It's a tiny, delicious, concentrated little video. And then we're going to get into it. But you know what's funny about this whole, I'm going to protest and I'm going to stand up against ICE and I'm going to be the man against Trump or the woman against Trump or the unidentified whatever you want to be today against Trump. It's really amazing when reality strikes. Because I'm about to watch you. I'm about to show you some video here, short little segment of someone running in front of a car and then being surprised when the car hits them. I mean, like literally, reality is just hitting people like cars. Okay, here we go. Leftist protester, really, really virtuous, really, really important, really, really righteous. And then 2,000 pounds of metal says, yeah, nah, sorry, I'm going to keep on going. Watch this. Yep, there it is, Skaplunk. Why would you do that? And I don't want anyone to get hurt. I don't wish ill will on any of these people physically. But if you're gonna run into the middle of a street with a sign directly at a Ford, what is that, a Honda Santa Fe, whatever that is, it's not gonna work. And then they get all cantankerous that someone would dare hit them. Again, look, you're running at the hood of the car and you get folded over it like a napkin. Why would you do that? Are you more virtuous now that you're on the ground kneecapped? The vehicle seems fine. Look, one more. Skablunk. Why? Why would you ever run at the front of a car? And the fact that it has a Trump sign, a Trump thing on it just makes it even better. But like, why would you do this? It makes no sense whatsoever. Is this autoplay fun for you guys? I sure hope it is. I mean, again, I don't want anyone hurt, but if you're gonna run in front of a car and run at the car and then be surprised when it hits you, it's kind of stupid. I don't know. Maybe I'm just old-fashioned. Maybe I am just a relic, a dinosaur of a bygone era. I don't know. I was always told not to play in the streets, even when you're virtue signaling. But anyway, let's keep on going. This is where we start to have a whole lot of fun. So, y'all make sure you send this part out. Send the whole video out. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell on. Do the sharing that the notification bell is just not going to do because it's a lazy bastard. It's just sitting in its mom's basement on its mom's couch watching Looney Tunes, Cheeto dust all over it. Someone's got to tell it to get a job, and you guys can do it by sharing and engaging through the chats, the comments, and the emojis. And remember how I said, ladies, you're about to make a big appearance again? Yeah, you're about to. Stay tuned. All right, here we go, people. This segment in the next 5 or 6 tabs is something that no one's telling you. The media's not telling you. The politicians aren't telling you. Nobody's telling you. I'm going to show you this to give you a little bit different of a perspective of what everyone's saying of, We're either going to be black-pilled into non-existent. Donald Trump is done. Donald Trump White House is done. The administration is done. Republicans are done. Conservatives are done. Blue wave, blue tsunami. It's going to be incredible. Yeah. Later in these tabs, I'm going to show you how these progressives are literally calling Chuck Schumer a fascist collaborator because he just passed the funding bill in the Senate tonight. That's coming up. Just to give you a little peek into the future. All right, here we go. RNC versus DNC cash on hand and debts per Vote Hub. At the start of 2025, it was $38 million to $22 million. At the end of 2025, it's $95 million to $12.6 million with $16 million in debt. Let me zoom in. That's a little bit rare. Team Red has no debt and has $95 million in cash. Team Blue has $12.6 million in cash and $16 million in debt. They are effectively underwater. Do I need to like emphasize this more? I mean, y'all, no one's telling you that. Why is no one screaming this on Team Right? Like, good Lord. All this stuff that the media is telling you that it's done and everyone hates everybody. I mean, like, y'all, they're underwater. They are underwater, and it is 9 months until a general election. Or technically, actually, midterm election. I don't know if you know politics, but if you're outnumbered and outspent almost 8-1 with $16 million in debt, you don't have a lot of money to go around to all the races. And so you're going to have to pick and choose and hope to God something works. And then on the other end, they're going to have to eat up all their money fighting off progressive candidates from the left flank of the middle purple seats. I'm telling you, it's not what everyone's portraying. And we're just on the first tab. Let's keep on trucking. Zoom out. Let's keep it going, people. We've got some energy to keep up with. Whoa! Wowzer. Look at this. Oh, man. The sarcasm button's about to flip on, to be honest with you, because like they just lie to you all the time. That's all they do is lie to you. Generic ballot weekly tracking. Democrats have a 1 point advantage. In 2018, the generic ballot was plus 7 to 14 for Democrats at this exact same time going into the midterms. They have a 1 point lead. That is effectively the exact same lead they had on some other pollsters going into the 2024 election. You know, the one where they won the popular vote, the House, the White House, and the Senate. You know that one? It's the same place right now. But they're not telling you that, are they? So they're in the same place on the generic congressional ballot. They're $16 million in debt with $12.6 million on hand, while the Republicans have $96 million and the White House and the bully pulpit. And you're telling me that this is a foregone conclusion? Yeah, no. We're going to vote like we're losing, grind like we're losing, we're going to energize like we're losing, and we're going to share like we're losing, because honest to God, the time to hit the pedal to the metal is right now. I mean, like, I'm just going to keep on showing you. I got even more tabs. Even more tabs. Here's something that just dropped today. Again, things they won't tell you. Stunning blow to the left. A poll just found voters trust Republicans by 7 points on the economy, 7 points on immigration, 11 points on crime, and 12 points on national security. How is that possible? I was told that everybody in the planet hates the Republicans for anything and everything, and the Donald Trump experience is awful and everyone hates it. And yet somehow, still, in this polling, which I'm going to zoom in for you. And again, let me hear you in the comments and the chats and the emojis, because no one's telling you this stuff. I'm trying. If I'm landing the plane, let me know. National security, crime, immigration, economy, gun laws, inflation, all Republican plus. You know the 4 things the Democrats have? Education, healthcare, abortion, and climate change. Climate change, no one gives 2 shits. Abortion, only the blue states. That's going to make an appearance in about 2 tabs. You know, they're eliminating their own constituencies. Healthcare, okay, I'll give them that one. And education, they don't know what a man and a woman is. Okay, I mean, like, come on. Oh, also, by the way, all of those things aren't even in the top 5 of the things that are most important to Americans right now. So yeah, keep on going. Keep on going, guys. Let's just keep on trucking. I hope you guys are enjoying the content. Here is a breakdown in a little cleaner of fashion, so you guys can take your screenshots or just record this video and send it out. Make it your own. Facebook it, X it, whatever. I don't care. Go for it. All the sources are linked in the description box below. So now what I've shown you, because I always bring the receipts. Here, what I've shown you so far. We've gone from the money on hand to the congressional ballot to the people trusting the Republicans versus the Democrats. And now, I'm going to take you on a different part of this world. They're losing seats. I've told you this a couple times. I've told you this for a while. Out of the blue, Democrat strongholds in New York and California will lose 6 congressional seats in 2030, while Texas and Florida gain 8. You know what that means, people? That means that people are leaving the blue state policies and they're going to red state policies, to the tune of losing 6 congressional seats, which, by the way, the difference right now in the House is about 2 seats, 3 seats. So they're losing 6, and Republicans are gaining 8. And that's before the civil rights decision comes out this year. I'm telling you, there's things they're not showing you, and you need to be aware of. But anyway, the septum blue hairs are going to be real pissed. Anyway, keep on trucking. This is a different way to look at this. And it's going to tie into the next one. And this is where the ladies start to show up. So ladies, let me hear you in the comments, because it's a big portion of our audience. This right here is a map of the United States, and I'm going to zoom in a little bit for you. And tell me if this is helpful, guys, because I think this is something you guys need to know. This is the predicted change in representation of what they were just talking about, the leaving the blue states for red states. As you can see, North Carolina, Georgia, Florida, and Texas are all getting one. Idaho, I think that, hold on a second, get the list. Be 100% certain for you guys, because that's important. Arizona, that was what I was trying to think of. And Arizona, all these are all swing states. All the swing states on the red side are getting apportionment. They're getting more electoral representation. But then the blue states are leaving. New York, Pennsylvania, well, Pennsylvania's kind of purple. Illinois, Wisconsin, Minnesota, Oregon, Washington, California, right? All of these things are happening while this is happening. Ladies, there's for you right here. MAGA women defy the birth dearth. While Democrats are increasingly the party of the childless, Republicans are increasingly the party of parents. Ladies, y'all are going to save the country just by the nature of your ability to biologically reproduce. Because the people who are watching this, the audience right now that's watching is not a left audience. So I can talk directly to the Republican women or the conservative women, because you guys are literally producing more children than your counterparts on the left who are trying to brainwash you and shame you into saying that you need to be miserable like they are. But you're not. You guys are actually creating more children, more people, and they're not converting them anymore because college is basically crap. This is what's happening, and it stacks right here. Look. Fertility data shows the Midwest is nearly at replacement levels, and Republican states are carrying the bulk of births, while liberal states experiencing low fertility rates, particularly the Northeast. Across the country, white births and Republican births increased. I mean, honestly, I don't really care about the racial component of it. What I care about is conservative states reproducing and, liberal states not. If you go up here into the graph you're looking at, the yellow and the orange are on the lighter side, and the purple is on the heavier side for reproductive rates. You see the flyover country right there in the middle? Yeah, those are all Republican strongholds, mostly. Most of those are Republican strongholds. You see down here in the South? Those are mostly Republican strongholds. You see up here in the top right in the Northeast of the country where all liberalism is spawned and basically oozes out to the rest of the country as a big trial balloon? Yeah, they're losing children. Like, they are actually actively at 1.3, 1.4, 1.07. I mean, like, if I zoom this in, so I actually zoom that in for you. The Northeast is losing reproductive rates. They're just losing. 1.4, 1.3, 1.46, 1.36, 1.30, 1.4. Zoom right over here. Conservative states. 2.05, 1.88, 1.89, 1.80, 0.80, 0.71, 0.78, 0.78, 0.72, 72, 73, 70. Y'all, I'm telling you, you not only have the trifecta of the fact that the Republicans have more money than the Democrats do by about 8x. You have the fact that they're in debt. You have the electional reapportionment that's coming out from 2030 census, which is going to take electoral college votes away from them. So people are actively leaving. The ones that are already born are actively leaving. Then you have the ones that are actively not reproducing in the left, in the Northeast or the liberal states. You literally have a ultimate victory coming in about 10, 15, 20 years. Because they're breeding themselves out of existence. Because it's a curse to have children. It's a curse to have a marriage. It's a curse to have a family. It's a symbol of the patriarchy about how men are going to oppress women by having them have children. Like, it's absurd. It's obscene. But you know what? Liberals, I hope you keep on embracing that mentality. I hope that becomes part of your ethos, and every single liberal woman moves to the Northeast where they just don't reproduce. Because it's only a matter of time and economics. Honest to God. We're reproducing, they're not. Great job, ladies. Keep it up. You are making the next generation of freedom. All right. Super chat from Marsha Willis, $5. Liberals don't need to reproduce. They have illegals for their voting bloc. Not anymore, Marsha. Not anymore. And that is the best part about it. Because that whole 3 million people leaving in the first year of the Trump administration is really cutting into that one. They couldn't reproduce their voted bloc, so they just had to import it. Well, now they're exporting and they're not reproducing. So it's only a matter of time. It's only a matter of time. Just saying. All right, we've come to the point where the break. So, ladies, you did your great work in that episode, in that part of the episode. So now we kind of recoalesce, and we come to the part where Chuck Schumer is a fascist collaborator. I'm not saying it. The progressives are. They eat their own. We've been talking about it a whole lot. Now, if you are new to the channel, which is possible, because in the last 5 to 6 months, we've added right around 150,000 subscribers to the channel. And thank you so much for that. It's an incredible blessing. We are spreading a lot of freedom, and we are dispelling a lot of propaganda through you guys joining up. And thank you for that. So please keep on adding people, because I know you guys are sharing it. And honest to goodness, we've been saying for the last 10 to 12 months, my veterans of the channel will tell you that we've been talking about the progressive left, which is the far left, like the AOCs, like the Young Turks, like the whoa, right? They are going to put so much pressure on the Democrats in the middle that they're going to basically make them either extinct or they're going to take over the Democrat Party, right? That's one of the big things we've been saying. They're going to get more and more aggressive to the point where they either vote them out and take over, or the moderate Democrats are going to ostracize the left and split the party in half. It's one of those two options, because the progressives are playing for keeps, right? They're not playing for, I'd like a seat at the table. They're saying, I want the whole damn table, okay? This is what we're about to get into, because this is something we talked about last night. Let me hear you in the comments in the chats. Hit the button for you. If you guys remember us talking about this, we told you that this is exactly what was going to happen last night. It's not because I'm a genius. It's because they're very predictable, right? The Senate approves a Trump-backed government funding deal, delaying for a now larger fight over restraining ICE. So all that bluster and talk about all the far-left progressives that they were going to block ICE and shut the government down, yeah, they just passed the government funding in the Senate. Well, that worked out. Because, again, you'd think that if that whole thing about the Democrats shut down for 40 days was such an amazing, incredible win for the Democrats as they were trying to force feed us, you'd think they'd do it again. But for some reason, they can't. Or it might have something to do with the fact that the ICE funding was already in the bill, the one big beautiful bill, all the way through 2029, and they couldn't defund it. They just couldn't tell their progressive left because they didn't want to hear it. Yo, this is the stuff that you are winning. You are actively winning. Okay? Let's keep on going. But none of it, you do not win if you aren't active. I'll say it all until I'm blue in the face. I'm just saying. All right. U.S. Senate votes to fund the government and avert a lengthy government shutdown. But now it's got to go to the House for even more political drama. Democrats are still playing games with DH funding, and more negotiations will continue. So they passed it, 71-29. And I'm about to show you the fallout here. Again, the fallout is amazing. Seriously, they're calling him, the Schumer, they are calling him a fascist collaborator. Can't make this stuff up. Senator Bernie Sanders, he put forward an amendment to rescind $75 billion in ICE funding and redirect the funds to Medicare, and it fails to pass. The final vote was yes 49, no 51. Of course, the Republican light that voted were Susan Collins and Lisa Murkowski. Here's the thing that you have to understand, guys, and this is the most important piece about this. They put forward these amendments, and the only reason you put forward the amendments to rescind $75 billion in ICE funding is because it's already in bills and it's already congressionally passed and it's already part of the apportionment. It's not going anywhere. This whole we're going to defund ICE, defund DHS thing, it was impossible the whole time. Come here real quick. I try a whole lot, and I spend a lot of time and energy to try to make this fully accessible for you guys because they're lying to you consistently. The left comes out and does this whole posture game, and the media plays along and says they're going to shut down the government because they don't want ICE funding. They aren't going to tell you that ICE funding was already in the bill, the one big beautiful bill that passed and was signed into law early last year. But they're not going to tell you that because that interrupts the narrative. So then they come out and they say, we're going to defund ICE. We're going to do these DHS blocks. We're not going to give a penny for ICE. They've gotten all the pennies. They have literally 747s full of pennies. So then they go, well, you know what? We put for a really good front. And now we're going to back off very slightly and we're going to ask, for more warrants and dropping face coverings and maybe some body cam footage, which is why you saw the progressives starting to lose their collective minds, because they openly said, wait a minute, we wanted to get rid of them and we wanted to defund them and we wanted to abolish ICE. And the Democrat power structure was like, it's already funded, numbnuts. You can't do the defund ICE thing because every time you did defund the police, it killed us in the Electoral College. These two parties right here, the far left and the Democrats, they're not playing nice together. I got more for you in a second. But this is what you have to understand. Like, these things are absolutely crazy. And let me hear you in the comments in the chats if I'm making this make sense. I'm landing this plane. Senate clears amended funding package 7129, sending it back to the House where passage is far from certain. Yeah, we'll deal with that as it gets up in the House. But there's some other things that are coming along down that road. There you go. Showed you the same thing. Now for the fallout. I think it's the fallout. No, it's the next one. Here we go. This is the fallout. So, I have told you many, many times that the far left progressives are going to continue to make noise and put pressure to the left on the Democrats all the time. That's what they're going to do. They think it's their time to take power, and they're going to do it. Graham Plattner for Senate is the far left progressive running for Senate campaign in Maine against an establishment Janet Mills, who's the governor there. He's the guy with the Nazi death head tattoos on his chest. Honest to God, I'm not making this up. He calls everyone else a Nazi while he has actual Nazi party line propaganda on his body. Anyway, enough of that. He says, why are we negotiating over things that are already illegal and banned by the Constitution? I knew Democrat leaders were stupid and ineffectual. I had no idea they were this stupid and ineffectual. And he's talking about something that Hakeem Jeffries said right here. House Dem Rep. Jeffries just told me in a news conference that he wants a ban on deportation of U.S. citizens as part of a deal on DHS conduct in the immigration crackdown. That is already not a thing. I mean, this would be like, goodness, I can't even think of a good example. It's so idiotic. It would be like if you're driving on this is a weak example, but whatever. If you're driving down a highway and it's 55 miles an hour and then a new sheriff comes in or a new politician comes in and says, we're going to vote to make sure that you can't get a ticket if you're going 35 miles an hour. Well, yeah, we knew that. This is the level that they're going to. They're trying to do this whole virtue signal thing, but even the far left is like, what the actual hell are you doing? Okay, well, I got more for you. This is where it gets really fun. Polling USA, which is a Canadian site, which is interesting and hilarious. This is an account in Canada, and it espouses on far left ideals in the United States. I don't know, it's weird. Democrats can't do effing anything, huh? Talking about the fact that leaders in Congress have reached an agreement for a 2-week continuing resolution to fund the Department of Homeland Security, averting a shutdown. Because shutdowns hurt the whole country in the middle of a blizzard. And it would also be FEMA. And it would also be other natural issues that would be a bad thing. But don't worry, the progressives want to obstruct Trump no matter what. Doesn't matter. The ends justify the means. You're watching them literally lose their minds. And honestly, I'm kind of here for it. Just destroying it. Because everything they say is a lie. And I'll be honest with you, it's kind of fun to be correct over them sometimes. All right, here we go. I'm going to zoom into this one. Now this, Emma Vigeland. I don't even care how you say her last name. She's a far left, progressive, very aggressive individual. Schumer's a fascist collaborator. Wow. A fascist collaborator. This is from the far left going against Chucky Schumer, the leaders of the Democrats. Whether it's weakness, ideology, corruption, or all three will be determined by historians. So I guess they're kind of trying to do that whole Nazi collaborator tie-in, kind of like George Soros was. Oops. Kind of like George Soros, but only of the modern Democrats. So Chuck Schumer is the fascist collaborator. This is going swimmingly, isn't it? Funding DHS for 2 weeks. And this is guys, pay attention to this last sentence. You're going to see something similar in a second. I want you to understand this. This is very important. Funding DHS for 2 weeks. 1, advantages Republicans by letting the national mood cool. 2, shows that you find ICE too essential to let funds lapse. Okay, that first one, this is really, really important. Have you ever heard of the term, never let a crisis go to waste? Rahm Emanuel, one of the Democrat leaders. You ever heard that term? Never let a crisis go to waste. Well, if it was all about the individuals and it was all about the pain that you're lamenting and it was all about the emotion that you're trying to invoke, you would think that you'd want to find the right solution for the problem, right? Funding DHS for 2 weeks advantages Republicans by letting the national mood cool, which immediately implies that the advantage is to the Democrats when the mood is elevated. Almost like they want something done in the moment because they know they can get more energy and more political capital from fear, motivation, and emotion than they can from logic and actual cooler heads. You're looking at the literal manipulation of the population right there, and it's going to show up again in a different person. Watch this. Guys, these are the people that we're fighting on a daily basis. This is why it's important you share this stuff out, because these people are ruthless. This is not normal, oh, we want this better for the America. No, these are socialist revolutionaries, and they don't care who gets hurt. Still can't get over it, says Aaron Regenberg. Again, I don't care, far leftist. For once, Democrats were united. The public was outraged. The level of government funding was there, and they kicked the can down the road to a time when none of those advantages is guaranteed. Let me highlight this for you again, right here. And they kicked the can down the road to a time when none of those advantages is guaranteed. They wanted the move in the high emotion zone right now, that they ginned up all the emotion so they could get something jammed through Congress, because that's what they do. They cannot win on the ideological front. They cannot win on the logical front. They can't even tell you what a man or a woman is. They can't tell you if men can't get pregnant, but they can sure as hell push something through at a high state of emotion, because nothing bad happens when you make emotional decisions. This is the whole point. This is why they push so incredibly hard. And honestly, why I stand there and do all the videos that I do to put down all of their lies, because they're trying to capitalize on emotion. And they kick the can down the road to a time when none of those advantages is guaranteed. That's the exact same language you saw right here. You advantage the Republicans by letting the national mood cool. You are looking at villains. All right, here's another one from Aaron. Great effing work, Chuck Schumer. No big deal, just an entire American city you're telling to get wrecked. Americans, Democrats, and Renee Good and Alex Preddy deserve so much better. Chuck Schumer must resign. And that's coming off of this little clip from the Trumpster. This is comical. Watch this. Again, whatever, just watch.
Pulling back immigration enforcement agents out of Minnesota.
We want to keep our country safe. We'll do whatever we can to keep our country safe.
So you're not pulling back?
No, not at all.
So you're not pulling back? No, not at all. And here's a warning I'm going to give you on this, guys. And we're just being real honest and real candid real quick. We're going to go big screen real quick for you. Beware of things that immediately jump to blackpilling, and immediately jump to a negative narrative, and immediately jump to a surrender narrative, because a lot of the time it's not accurate, because you aren't factoring in all the different pieces to this. If you make long-term observations and declarations based off of a short-term decision or occurrence, you're going to be wrong a whole lot. And that's what we've seen a lot frequently. I'm not naming any names. I'm not bashing anybody. I'm not calling anybody out. But I am telling you that when you go down the constant never-ending road of blackpilling and chicken littling, it does nothing except create more anxiety. Stay the course and base your decisions on data and observation, not on emotional chicken little black pills, right? That's really important. I'm not saying discount them. I'm just saying be observant, okay? That's all I'm saying. Again, I don't want to start anything. I'm not calling anybody out. I'm just saying, good Lord. And here's another far lefty. Schumer caved. Congrats, ICE and MAGA. You can see they're not handling it well. They're just simply not. And now we've come to the piece that we are about to get into with the whole Don Lemon issue. Now, I did a video earlier today about this whole thing, and of course it goes into the immediately I'm a victim now that I got called on the carpet and got in trouble for the things that I've done. It's standard lefty fare. But you have to understand where we're going with this, okay? Bear with me. Let's hit it. So, it turns out that all these decisions have consequences because now we've got radical leftists that just stormed a synagogue and they're disrupting religious services, this time of a synagogue. It's kind of weird. It's almost like the socialist revolutionaries don't care about religion. They don't care about the rights of those people who are worshiping their religion or their freedom of religion. They don't care about any of that. But they sure do care about those anti-ICE riots, right? Watch. This is just a little segment of it.
Your names? How fucking dare you!
I'm Swazi. I know you voted to increase ICE funding, so I wanted to get something for you. This is an adult diaper for when you pee yourself. You're the type of leader we need right now. Someone who soils themselves with ashes around.
I didn't know we were doing gifts up top. I actually also have some gifts. I have some knee pads for you. You can use these while you blow Donald Trump.
I just would like to say really quick.
So, you're getting the idea, right? These people are just nasty people. They're saying those things in the middle of families, of an entire synagogue, right? So, this is what you're dealing with. They did it on a church earlier for Christians. Now they've done it on a synagogue for the Jewish. What's next? You think they're going to go into a mosque? You think you're going to do that? Yeah, probably not, because it won't go so well. But just saying, these are the people. And when the population sees this kind of crap, the population doesn't like this stuff. I don't give a crap if you're Don Lemon or not. Now here, the charges have actually been dropped on him, and this is an important thing, because listen to what he's actually saying. What's it? Oh yeah, the 12-page indictment of Don Lemon released. This is what they're going after him for, okay? And this whole going after journalists and all that stuff, it's total crap. This was a premeditated thing, and he was involved. Conspired and agreed with one another to injure, oppress, threaten, or intimidate multiple persons, including the clergy, staff, and congregants of the city's church, in the free exercise and enjoyment of the rights and privileges secured to them by the laws of the United States, and because of such persons having exercised such right, namely, exercise of the First Amendment right of religious freedom at a place of religious worship, all in violation of Title 18 United States Code, Section 214. Good luck, or 41 rather. Because that's what he did. They're going down the road of, I'm a journalist, I have the right of the press. Yeah, you stepped on the freedom of religious expression of the people of the church. So that's what they're dropping him on, not a journalist being there. And here's some video, by the way, that he turned the camera off and he openly admits he knows exactly what they were doing, was involved. This is just something you need to see just for the shits and giggles, to be quite candid. Watch this.
So they're getting the operation together. Again, this is an operation that is secret, that they invited folks out. Can't tell you what is going to happen, but you're going to watch it live unfold here on the Don Lemon Show. There are for this reason it may look like MAGA coded, but there's a reason they have so many white people here. I'm just going to be honest. It's because of the operation that they're doing today. It's important to have allies, as they said, white allies here. So that is what I could say. I turned our camera off of them because they're giving some critical information here. But
oh, you did what? You turned the camera off because you were involved in the planning stage? That's not what journalists do. And this is what's going to damn this guy right here. They're playing this game of he didn't do anything wrong. He was actively involved in the planning stage, turned the cameras off so there was no evidence of them doing it. That's why they're making him a co-conspirator, because he turned the cameras off while he was there in the planning stage before it happened. Remember his excuse was, we just happened upon the protest and we walked into the church? Well, it turns out he's there at the staging area and he's turning the cameras off while they're doing things that are special and you can't really say. That's co-conspiracy. This guy clearly did it. He intended to do it, and he set forth the plan in motion to go interfere with those individuals in that church religious freedoms. Good luck. Good luck, Donnie, because they're not going to tell you that on the internet. They're not going to tell you it on the media. They're just going to say that Donald Trump's being a fascist, going against the journalists, and they're going to arrest the journalists because, oh my God, they're fascist. Or you're a co-conspirator who happened to turn a camera on and off at convenient points in time in the staging phase of this operation, because you brought white people, so that's important to have white allies. Probably to set up the angle of you didn't arrest the white people, but you arrested the black people. Probably that angle. But That's what's happening. You're looking at it right now. I got one more super chat right over here. Rhett Coasty Chief with a $4.99 super chat said, why don't we know the name and immigration status of the guy that attacked the synagogue? That's a good question. I don't know. That's a great question. I have no idea. But anyway, you guys are showing all sorts of love in the comments, and I appreciate every bit of it. Wait a minute, is Autumn in here? Oh man, the guy, our standard lefty? Oh, I missed her. You hate to see it. Oh yeah, she's still on that martyr thing. That's okay. That's okay. We'll bring you to the right side eventually, Autumn. It's great over here. It's warmer. We have nice clothing, jackets, and American flags. All right, listen, everybody. That's all I got for you on this Friday night. I'm going to have so much to cover tomorrow. I'm so excited to share it all with you as we continue to push forward and dispel the lefties and their lies from the safety confines of the internet. And I'll see you guys on the next one. I love each and every one of you. Just the right amount. Stay safe out there. Later.